Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Dia, Lauren Frey, Grim Clover, Internet Blood Sports, City of Steel, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. So I have noticed that DSP is not putting a lot of time into playing Splatoon 3. In fact, I was about to make a video about it because I did notice it was conspicuously absent from his schedule. I was about to really comment on this because I found it really interesting how DSP would rage about Splatoon 3 like, "Oh man, this game is a failure. It's only Nintendo fans care. It's not that big of a deal." Meanwhile, it's sold like what, like over 3 million units already. Like it's probably a lot more than that at this point. We're aware that in Japan, it's like one of the best selling titles ever. And Darksydephil is still trying to say this game isn't a big deal. That's a YouTube trend I've noticed is that YouTubers are downplaying Splatoon 3 and really pretending that it wasn't as big of a deal as it actually is. And in DSP's case, I find this really interesting, fascinating even, because he is spending his time instead playing a bunch of irrelevant shit, including like a Disney game like Disney Dreamlight Princess or whatever the fuck it is. He's gonna call Splatoon 3 Kitty and not all that relevant, but play a Disney game, right? And then secondly, he's playing like multiverses, a lot of multiverses, a game that like I don't think is relevant in any way, shape, or form, especially now. I don't know why he's so adamant that like, oh man, multiverses, this is my thing. I don't know what it is. I feel like he's trying to get away from AAA big releases and trying to go more for like the free to play route because that's where like a lot of the streaming money is. But I could be wrong about that. I haven't been watching DSP enough to comment on that exactly, but that's the impression I get. Is that like he is straight up shafting these big Nintendo releases in favor of like this cheap mobile shit, like cheap Western developed just trash, honestly. And this is the thing that's really I really have been getting back into the DSP thing. I really have. I fell off of it after the Liana breakup and after the horse thing because I felt like it was getting kind of samey. And like, yeah, I suppose there was a reason for that. I had like a lot going on at the time, but now it's like, okay, we're watching Darksydephil. He's gotten worse over the years. Like I don't think I hated him this much like 5 years ago. Like 10 years ago, I was laughing with him. Like with like, oh yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3, he's just an asshole. But no, I over the years, I've really started to hate this guy. And maybe it's because I actually got started on my own career and I actually know what things cost now and like know what the cost of living is and just how much you can expect to make off YouTube and things like that. But like, yeah, I'm getting very frustrated seeing DSP. So let's see what he has to say about Splatoon 3.
I do have another thing to say in regards to Splatoon 3, and what I'd like to do is take a small segment here to give you my thoughts about the game now that I played it for 9 hours, and kind of give a little bit of a determination. And number three,
Oops, hang on.
there's
Oops.
people who just
I was about to. Okay, I was trying to pause it and I fucked it up. Okay, 9 hours is not enough to give an adequate review of Splatoon 3. Um, you wouldn't understand the meta of the multiplayer game. You wouldn't understand like Salmon Run, and you would not have cleared single player. In fact, going by what I've seen of his gameplay, I could be wrong about this because I didn't spend a lot of time watching it. I think he might not have touched the single player campaign at all. We know that he didn't touch like Salmon Run and Splatoon 2 at all, so that might be like a real serious issue. Is that like he's ignoring critical modes in these games. It's weird that he's gonna give his thoughts on a game that he hasn't like fully played.
I do have another thing to say in regards to Splatoon 3, and what I'd like to do is take a small segment here to give you my thoughts about the game now that I played it for 9 hours, and kind of give a little bit of a determination on it. All right. So Splatoon 3, first of all, originally I was sold on it, and then when
No,
I
he
started,
wasn't. No, he wasn't. He was making excuses before it even came out. He was really trying to like drive people away from like talking about it. I'll have to look at some of the old footage, but like saying he was sold on it is just that's just wrong. He was like bitching about how he had nothing to play, like leading up until the release of Splatoon 3. I remember this very well. He's lying about this.
to hear that the game was very similar to the previous games. I was not necessarily sold on it, but then it was like, I'm going to skip it anyway because I couldn't even afford it a couple weeks ago. Then a fan stepped up and donated it, and that made it an easy determination that I would play it.
People are buying this asshole games? Why? Like, why? I mean, it might not be true. He might be like talking out of his ass here because I really don't think his financial situation. Well, I know his financial situation isn't as dire as he always makes it out to be. Because he really makes it sound like, oh man, I'm gonna starve tomorrow if you don't give me the tips. It's like, he's legit like he's a legit like a fucking homeless bum on the internet, like begging you for change. Like, oh man, you gotta give me money so I can eat. Like,
Okay? In the last week since Splatoon 3 came out, because it has been a week now, it was actually Friday last week when it came out, I played it 3 times. So that's 9 hours of gameplay. All right? In the 9 hours of gameplay, I've re-educated myself on the Splatoon universe, right? I got more.
did he? Has he not been playing Splatoon 1 or 2 since they came out? These are games that like people, most fans, have been playing like religiously since they came out, right? Like I've heard a lot of people like say they were obsessively playing Splatoon 3 2 up until like the release of Splatoon 3, right? Like a lot of like hardcore fans haven't dropped the game at all. Like, do you not really not remember anything about the lore? Because I find it like one of the more interesting things about the IP is that they put so much thought into it, like compared to the average Nintendo franchise. I remember like the lore very well.
I got back into the gameplay of Turf War, where it's all about covering the maximum amount of space of the map with your color paint on for your team, where it's not really about kills, but it's more about teamwork and coverage, right? Then I played 1 round of the Horde mode against the Salmon. It was
One round. Okay, I don't want to talk shit because I myself have not touched Salmon Run yet because I've been so addicted to Turf War and single player, but like I I play a lot of Salmon Run in Splatoon 2. It is incredibly fun. The fact that he only played one round is laughable.
incredibly boring. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty repetitive and exactly what you would expect from a Horde mode, similar to like Plants vs Zombies that I played before.
Wait. Is he talking shit about Salmon Run?
More about teamwork and coverage, right? Then I played 1 round of the Horde mode against the Salmon. It was incredibly boring. I'm not gonna lie. It was.
He's really talking shit about Salmon Run. Okay. So if you're not aware, okay, I know I just said I didn't play Splatoon 3's Salmon Run, but Splatoon's 2 Salmon Run, as everyone knows. Okay, so if you're not aware how this works, the game calculates the difficulty based on like the cumulative experience of like every player involved. So like if you have like 4 newbies, it's gonna be like pretty basic at first, but as you like gain experience and like gain go up ranks, you're going to like see some crazy shit. And the fact that DSP is saying like, oh man, it's so boring. I played one round and it was boring, bro. You did not experience Salmon Run. You have never experienced Salmon Run. You don't know what you're talking about. You're talking at your ass. You don't know what this game is fundamentally. And I was saying this about like Splatoon 3 as a whole, like with him like talking shit about like, oh man, it looks too similar to the old games. No, it doesn't. Like anyone who actually, this has been the trend since Splatoon 3 came out, or since it was announced actually, where people who did not play the first 2 games at all were making these like radical judgments about it, about how it looked too similar to the first 2 games, when like really, really isn't. Again, actually playing Splatoon 3, compared to Splatoon 2, it's night and day. Like it's radically different when it comes to the meta and just like the general stage design and stuff like that. This isn't something you would pick up on just by watching a video or like watching a YouTuber talking about it. You have to play it yourself. And so there's been this big dissonance between like YouTubers pushing an agenda and actual fans talking about like all the changes they've made. But like, yeah, this is an example of that, of just DSP not knowing what he's talking about, trying to shit on the game.
Pretty repetitive and exactly what you would expect from a Horde mode, similar to like Plants vs Zombies that I played before. It didn't seem very innovative. It just said like it was something in there to say that there's another game mode in there. Great. So I played it once. I was like, okay, maybe if I was teaming up with friends, I would care. Doesn't seem like something you're going to care about just randomly playing. So then after playing Splatoon
Yeah, people need to call him out on that shit. That is like 100% unacceptable. That's just wrong.
3, 2 different streams, unlocking various weapons, customizables for my character, and basically getting the hang of it, then I unlocked ranked play. And I played this yesterday, and here's what I determined about ranked play. First of all, the matchmaking is atrociously stupid. It doesn't match you against people of your own rank, it just matches you against anyone, because so few people are playing ranked play. This leads to
So few people are playing ranked play. That's not how it works, you fucking idiot. Like, plenty of people are playing. Like, it doesn't matter what your rank is. Like, your rank doesn't really affect much at all in these games. Like, it's just a status symbol, really. Like, I have beaten people like who have ranks in in the 60s, right? Like, I don't. The game is so well back. Like, you do unlock new weapons, but like to suggest they're like the weapons are better or that they just they give you an edge, that's wrong. Like, they just give you more options essentially. And like saying that, like, oh man, I'm going up against higher ranking people, like it doesn't amount to that much. That doesn't mean anything, especially considering like you have higher ranked people on your team as well. Like, I remember when I first got started, I was not able to play all that much right away because I was busy with like personal stuff and going through the single player. I was reading a lot that first weekend. I didn't play like a multiplayer at all until like the Sunday after it came out. uh I was a little bit behind initially, and I still am in some ways, but I'm still competitive. I'm still like playing. I'm still like fulfilling a niche. I'm still like developing a skill set, right? Like, to complain about like going up against people who are higher ranked than you, it doesn't make sense for this game. This isn't a fighting game. This isn't like, no, it doesn't work that way.
worse connections and leads to you getting overplayed almost every time until you learn exactly what to do. So to give you some perspective,
Oh no, there's a learning curve to a game you've never played before. Like, I myself was struggling, right, with this game because like like I said, the game is a little bit different than Splatoon 2, and like you have to build up your gear and you kind of have to customize your character to begin with. So like I had a bit of a learning curve, like getting my character up to speed, learning what I had to do, figuring things out. Like, that's not like a bad thing. Like, it really isn't. He's bitching about being like having to play a game essentially.
the first hour of ranked play was this happening to me.
Oh wow, DSP sucks at a video game. Who could have possibly seen that coming?
Wait, hold up. I just want to learn how to play.
It's ranked play. You learn how to play in Turf War, build up your character, and then go into rank. Like, that's what I did.
Which should never happen. In ranked gameplay, the whole point is it should put you into matches with people of your skill level. That's the point of having rank points. It's not just a
Bro, Phil, you're at the bottom of the barrel. You're competing against people who are serious about playing and serious about learning the game, and you're bitching about losing. Like, this is what it comes down to. He's upset that he's bad at the game and can't just like pay to win like he does with his WWE gachas. Like,
arbitrary leveling system. It's supposed to be if you're better, you play better opponents. If you're worse, you play worse opponents as you learn. But Splatoon 3 says, fuck all that, play anyone, get destroyed. So literally for an hour, I don't even understand the game mode or what we're doing, and it's just completely dominated by people who know what they're doing. They're taking the high ground. They're completely outplaying everyone who doesn't know.
So he doesn't look it up. He doesn't do any research. He doesn't do anything to like learn like how these maps work, and like he's complaining about other people being better at the game than he is. That's all there is to it.
What the hell's going on? It's a joke. It's basically it's Nintendo once again being Nintendo.
What?
They don't have to learn from any of their contemporaries or any competition. We'll just
Okay, how exactly did you learn how to play Call of Duty? Right? You booted up the game, got your ass kicked, and then got better at it, right? Like, Halo's the same, I'm sure. Like, you're acting like it's some unusual thing for you to die in online games, when in online shooter games, when like it's the most normal thing in the genre. Like, you're going to be dying a lot. Like it's a big deal when you start like killing more people than you start dying, you know? Like that means you're getting better.
Do whatever we want because we're Nintendo and we get a pass. So when we make ranked play, we
Who the fuck gives Nintendo a pass? I see people bitching about Nintendo over nothing all the time. This is a really good example.
don't have to make it actually match against people of your skill level. Who cares? Well, I care. I'm someone who wants to learn your game. So I basically wasted about an hour and a half yesterday playing ranked play, not knowing what the fuck was going on. When I finally learned what I was doing, I started winning. And then now I'm dominating, right? Now me and my team, oh, take the high ground, throw the paint over the areas, do this, do that. Now I'm dominating, okay? But the one thing that I noticed after playing about 3 hours of ranked play yesterday is that you don't really level up doing it. So I played ranked play the entire stream, okay?
You don't rank up during your ranked play? That's just not true. What is he talking about? Is he actually losing? That might actually explain it. Like, oh man, I started winning. Did he? Like, because if you're in ranked play, yeah, you don't get as much experience if you lose during ranked play. Like that's the thing about ranked versus turf war is if you do turf war, you tend to get experience points no matter what. But in ranked, you get more if you win, but less if you lose. So what it seems like to me is that Phil straight up was losing, but he's telling us he's winning because he's Darksydephil and he always wins.
I gained 1 level. Now think about this. Previously, in the other 2 streams that I had done 6 hours of gameplay, I hit level 10. In 3 hours of gameplay yesterday, I gained 1 level in ranked play.
It slows
So
down
ranked
as
play
you
is
go
what you're
along.
aspiring to play. You have to unlock it. You have to get good to win at it. But then you get the least rewards from it. How the hell does that work? The answer is it doesn't. The system is flawed. They built ranked play in a really weird way that doesn't really make sense. Okay? It doesn't match you against people you want to be playing against because it doesn't care about your ranking points. And then you get almost nothing for it. So why am I doing it? Right? I don't get it.
Because it's fun. That's what it comes down to. But you do get stuff though. You do get like new weapons. You do have a reason to keep playing. Like, but when it comes down to like the reason you're supposed to play Splatoon is because you enjoy it. And that's the thing with Phil and these streamers is that they don't enjoy this stuff. They're only doing it for money, and that's the real problem. I think the issue that Phil will dance around is that like playing Splatoon was not making him money because people aren't interested in watching another person play Splatoon. They want to play the game themselves.
I'm lost, okay?
Especially someone like Phil. Ugh. I saw his gameplay. He was
So you
terrible.
might say, well, all right, Phil, well, then just play the other game modes. What other game modes? That's it. That's Splatoon 3. It's Turf War, the Horde mode called Salmon Run, and Ranked Play. That's the whole game.
He doesn't even know the single player exists. Is he serious? He doesn't know the single player exists? So he played one round of Salmon Run, played like 9 hours of online play, and now he's trying to say that like, oh man, like there's nothing else to do. There's absolutely nothing. That is just objectively wrong. Like there's no getting around it. He didn't experience Salmon Run. He didn't. So he's basically experienced like basically 1/3 of the game, right? He didn't play the single player, which is great. He didn't play Salmon Run, which I'm sure is great, and he didn't understand the online multiplayer he did play. He's like taking it out of context. He's misinterpreting it deliberately to try and make the game look as bad as possible. I don't know what it is with his hatred of Nintendo. I don't know if he covers all the games. I don't think he reviews most games this way. I don't. I don't see him like take try and like attack big games from other developers like this. It only seems like it's a Nintendo thing, and I've never heard anyone else really talk about this, but this is really getting on my nerves. It really is.
Oh, wait, but there's an offline campaign. You're absolutely correct. Splatoon 3 has a single player offline campaign. People are telling me it's around
Oh,
10 to 12 hours long. By the way, it has nothing to do with the other game. It's separate, it's a storyline, and playing it, the only tie-in it has to the multiplayer is that you earn experience booster items that you can use to level up more quickly in the multiplayer by playing the single player.
so wait, so he's gonna say huh? So he's going to say that, like, that's it? But, huh? Oh, it doesn't tie into the multiplayer. Like, you're going to complain about a lack of game modes, but when people bring up, like, the other game modes, you're going to say, like, oh, that doesn't count because it doesn't tie into the other thing. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, don't you want something different? Like, that's one of the things I really appreciate about the Splatoon campaigns is that they are different. You know, like, they're very, very good for what they are, but it's like radically different than like the online multiplayer portion. Like, it's a nice breath of fresh air. I cannot begin to tell you how many times I've gone from from multiplayer to single player to like round up some kettles I didn't get, and get some find some sunken sea scrolls and stuff like that. Like, he straight up is not giving the game a fair shake. He's talking shit about a mode he did not even play.
Player. Outside of that, the single player is actually completely set. It's like two separate games. People are telling me it plays different, unique properties. That's all well and good. But can anyone right now, I'm being honest now, if you're watching this stream live, or if you're watching this podcast on demand after the fact, and you purchased Splatoon 3, can you honestly raise your hand right now and say, I bought Splatoon 3 to play a campaign?
Yes, I did. Fuck you. I love the campaigns in Splatoon. Get a job, Phil.
No, it's like Call of Duty. It's nice that it has it. Of course, you'll play it because it's part of the package. But why did you get Splatoon 3? For the addictive.
He's really been trying to push the Call of Duty Splatoon is Call of Duty angle, and I don't think anyone's buying this shit. I certainly don't.
Multiplayer. So it's nice that it's there, but it's not an added feature that's really going to be too attractive. And I'll be honest, if I'm playing Splatoon 3 and I'm doing the multiplayer, which is supposed to be the main event feature, the addictive part of the game that everyone likes, and on my stream, my viewers are tanking, and I can't even get 300 viewers for a hot new game, and I'm watching the videos.
Yeah, so it is about the views. Yeah, I thought that was the case, but he's like he's kind of being low key about it. But yeah, this is about the views. People just are not tuning into him watching Splatoon, because like, why would you? Like, he's just Darksydephil. Why would you watch Darksydephil playing Splatoon? Like, really? Like, Phil doesn't seem to understand. It's not the game, it's him. Like, it's not Splatoon that's unpopular, it's him as a streamer. Like, his views are going downhill, and he's just blaming everyone, everything other than himself and his channel.
On my YouTube channel, DSP Gaming. And get this, Splatoon 3 is the lowest viewed series I have ever put out on DSP Gaming.
No! Yes! Splatoon 3! It's so unpopular that it's the lowest viewing game ever. That's how unpopular it is in America. That's how badly this game is selling. Nintendo is doomed because DSP isn't getting his views for this game. What a joke. I'm sure it's not because you're misrepresenting the game. It has nothing to do with you, like, shitting on it. It has nothing to do with, like, you being bad. It has nothing to do with your reputation as a streamer. It's entirely because Splatoon is just a fundamentally flawed franchise that no one likes. Yeah, no one likes Splatoon. I'm sure those people. I'm sure the Japanese players are like throwing up their hands, like, oh man, there's nothing to play on Switch. Splatoon 3, what's that? Like,
that is not an exaggeration. Those videos from yesterday have almost 24 hours on them already. One of them has not even hit 200 views. Okay? And it's not like, oh, well, Phil sucks. No, I'm learning the game. I'm actively enjoying it. I'm not just sitting there crapping on the game when I play it. I'm giving it a fair shot.
no, don't believe that.
And I think, yeah.
I have never seen you say anything nice about these games, Phil. Like, I have never seen you compliment Splatoon or anything Nintendo related, really.
Yesterday, I unlocked that try bucket. I like the bucket. I'm enjoying myself. The game itself, all right, has just not been anything innovative, catching.
Splatoon 3 is not innovative. Is he joking? Like this is one of the most innovative shooting franchises ever, and you're seriously gonna see people like Phil come out and say that like, oh, it's not innovative, it's too similar to the first two games. Like
Anything innovative, eye catching, and quite frankly, very interesting. I'm just gonna be honest.
yeah, I'm giving the game a fair shot, but the game isn't innovative. It's not creative. It's not fun at all. Like this guy is full of shit. Absolutely full of shit.
It's just not. Like every other game I'm playing, including Earthbound, an RPG from the mid 90s, is more attractive to my viewing audience than Splatoon 3. Okay?
Multiverses. Oh,
Now, it very well could just be that my viewing audience doesn't really care about this style of game, and that's fine. I get that. But typically, when I play a game, people will at least give it a look. This game, after 3 sessions, no one's caring about it. It's like, out of all the things I'm playing, it's actually the least interest of any game I've ever played. I'm not exaggerating that. It's getting the least attention of any game in 14 years that I've played. Less people care about Splatoon 3 than anything else.
Splatoon 3 is the least popular game ever. That is something. What a hot take. What a spicy take from the old Philster here. Like this guy is something else. Like really. Like I yeah, Splatoon 3 is I don't know enough about Phil's analytics to say whether or not that's true, but like I imagine it's due to the nature of Splatoon and like just the nature of like the game the community in general because like the people who like Splatoon are busy playing the game. They're not watching streams. I don't think people tend to watch online multiplayer streams of stuff like this like in huge droves unless it's like extremely high level skill of play, and of course like Phil is the complete opposite of that. So what I assume is happening is that like people are tuning in, seeing that Phil like sucks at the game or is like shitting on it or whatever, and they're tuning out. I really wish I had like some kind of insight as to like what's actually happening, but I'm not watching like 9 hours of stream to see like to analyze what like the audience thinks about this. But I do think he alienated the audience that would want to see him play the game. Like it's not the game's fault, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's the best selling game in Japan. 3.45 million copies sold in 3 days, and all of Japan is playing it nonstop.
Yep.
If this doesn't show a disconnect between different cultures and gaming communities around the world, I don't know what else would. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's really gonna try to push this angle that like Splatoon is only popular in Japan. That, again, this is something that like YouTubers are trying to push in order to like justify their nonsense. But like really, Splatoon is popular everywhere. Like the only notable thing about its Japanese popularity is that like it's one of the most popular things ever over there. So
damn, that's pretty crazy, right? That, you know, thousands of people come to DSP Gaming a day to watch my content, okay? And out of those thousands of people, 200 couldn't be bothered to watch the videos because they just don't care. All right? Now, you might say, well, why do you think this is? I'll tell you why. I know exactly why. Because Splatoon 3 is the same game as fucking Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2.
wait, did he straight up skips two? The chat says he skips two. I mean, assuming he didn't play one or two either, like he simply didn't build up an audience of people who would want to see him play these games. Hang on, let's replay this because he was getting to a point here.
Watch the videos because they just don't care. All right? Now, you might say, well, why do you think this is? I'll tell you why. I know exactly why. Because Splatoon 3 is the same game as fucking Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. They put zero effort into innovation. Zero.
It's not the same game at all. Like I can't keep repeating myself about the enough about this. But like that doesn't stop people from like checking out new Call of Duty footage or whatever. Like, assuming the game was the exact same, like like a new Call of Duty or whatever. Like the people who like it would still tune in and watch it. Again, it's not the game's fault.
Bro, here's what they did. Oh, we haven't made a Splatoon in a while. Well, everyone bought the last two. So what should we do? Should we actually innovate and change the game up and make it different? Nah, let's just give them the same game a third time, slap a new name on it, update the graphics. Oh, okay. Splatoon 3. 4 million seller. It's the same fucking game. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. Call of Duty does it every year, and they're one of the, if not the, highest selling game, right? Does that mean that it's acceptable? To your point of view, right? For me, playing Splatoon 3, I absolutely would have loved innovation. Give me new game modes. Give me new innovative things to do. It's literally the same shit. Okay? And again, I hate to say it, they even redid their shortcomings from the first game 7 years ago. Oh, you can only play certain maps at certain times. Why? You now have enough maps in the game to warrant a full retail purchase. You do. Like, the game has enough maps that they could just be rotating the maps. There's absolutely no reason to only do 2 maps in a 2-hour period. We just want to because we're Nintendo. Well, you can't just do that. You have to justify your actions like the rest of the world. You're not.
That's to prevent people from like singling out the best maps and only playing a handful of them, right? Um, it makes perfect sense.
Better than everyone else as a game developer.
They are.
You're in competition. But Nintendo, again, they live in this weird alternate universe where they think they're not in competition with anyone. We could do weird shit however we want. And
they're really not. Nintendo is so far ahead of like the rest of the competition when it comes like to quality wise. I really don't think you could really even say they're in competition with the others because everyone else is like going bankrupt. They're like running out of money. Like nobody's buying their games, and meanwhile Nintendo is putting out stuff like Splatoon 3, which is huge. Um, Again, I think Phil is like a relic of the '90s. I've talked about this before, but like he really does talk like PlayStation is still the dominant dominant gaming platform.
like it or don't. And the thing is, the Japanese reinforce that. When they buy Splatoon 3, 4 million copies within a week. They reinforce that, oh, we don't have to improve formula. You will buy the same game a third time. You will put up with our ridiculous design choices because we're Nintendo. If you buy that stuff, you support the bad action, right? You do. So, there's no surprise that they're not doing anything different, okay? So, and again, I'm not saying Call of Duty is good too or bad too, because that's what someone did on the comments last night. I'm talking about Splatoon 3 yesterday, playing it, and someone leaves a comment, oh, but you're okay with Call of Duty every year. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I criticize Call of Duty literally every year I play it, saying it's shit. The online play is terrible. They never improve it. They really need to put effort into the game, and they never do. And then last year, I skipped Call of Duty because I said they put no effort into this. I'm not even buying it this year. Okay? Call of Duty's not immune to this criticism either. These game companies are putting no fucking effort into these games now. It's a joke. And then you buy it in 4 million copies in a week, all it's going to do is make them pump out more shit. That's the same shit. They're never going to innovate if you support the bad action. You see? So, why?
The game is clearly selling because it's clearly really popular because it's selling a lot. So people are obviously playing it. So I don't know what Phil is talking about when he talks about innovation because as a Splatoon fan, I'm very happy with 3. I'm very happy with what they did with it. I don't see people always bitch about like Splatoon 3 being too similar to the first 2 games. What would you have done differently? Like realistically, what would you have added? Because it feels like these people like legit want Splatoon to become like a completely different game, honestly. The way they talk about it. Like, oh man, they only have these online ranked modes. Like,
why do I think this game is not catching on my channel? Because why do people really tune into DSP gaming? All right, there's various different reasons.
Why do people tune into DSP gaming? It's to see you fail, Phil. And like I think with the online multiplayer games like Splatoon, it's just like it's just the same thing over and over again. You just getting bodied by other people.
Number one, people want to see my honest reactions to new games. That's a big reason. Number two, people want to relax with me and have a chill and fun time with me in certain games. Okay? And number three, there's people who are just along for the ride no matter what I play. But maybe there's a group of people who only tune in for frustrating stuff. The Dark Souls stuff, things like that. So what category does Splatoon 3 fit into? Well, there's nothing new about the game. It's literally Splatoon 1 again. You saw me play that 7 years ago. You can still watch the videos if you want. It's
I'm
definitely
pretty
not
sure he was shitting on Splatoon 1 when it first came out too. I really should go back and see what he said back then. I think I will do that later on today. Well, we'll see.
chill fun. I can't chill when I play it because I have to pay attention to the game, and it's a competitive game. And it's frustrating playing it online. The ranked yesterday definitely revealed some of the shortcomings of the net code and stuff. Um,
Oh,
I
he's gonna
guess
blame
for
online
some,
lag.
if you wanted to see
Online
me
lag.
rage, I will rage a bit at it. But even then, I don't necessarily know if that's really going to succeed for that reason because I'm overall learning and enjoying getting better. Like, sure, I raged at the first hour of ranked yesterday, then I learned it and started winning, and now the rage went away. You see? So basically, I don't know if this game fits into any of the categories of what people come to my channel to see. You know what I'm saying? I think it might be a unique oddity where it's absolutely fine if you like the game. I'm not going to crap on you. I get it. I actually I understand the addictive nature of it and the fun level to it. And if you have friends who play it as well, probably adds to that. You know, you want to play with your friends and do a party and stuff like that. I get all that. I'm not going to crap on Splatoon 3 and say it's a bad game. It's definitely not. It's absolutely positively not a bad game. Should it be the best-selling Japanese game of all time? No, I don't believe it should. But that doesn't mean that people don't buy hype because I hate to say it, suckers born every minute, and the whole country is hyping it up. Everyone's going to buy it and want to be a part of this thing. Just like Call of Duty here. We're not immune to that. We're just as stupid. We buy crap here too. So don't think that I'm trying to.
He's seriously gonna sit here and say, "Oh, Splatoon 3 is not a bad game," but oh man, we buy shit here too. Like, like kind of. You need to pick a narrative and stick with it, Phil. You can't just jump back and forth to try and like placate like the Splatoon fans and then like turn around and like shit on them for not supporting your stream.
Say that the Japanese are dumb. No, gamers as a whole buy into these fads and buy into the hype, and the next thing you know, you got these arbitrary yearly annual releases that really don't have much to them, yet they're the biggest sellers, right? So we're just as guilty, if not more guilty, having an annual Call of Duty come out. So please don't think that I'm trying to say, oh, that culture is wrong. That's completely false. I think gamers as a whole just sadly buy into this shit because hype is very powerful, okay? If you like Splatoon 3, great. I do too. I have enjoyed playing it. But I'm not just me playing games for me. I'm someone who's a streamer and a content creator. I have to find things that's going to captivate my audience.
Yep,
okay?
yep. He needs to make that money. He needs to get those views. Ah, just give me the views. Give me the views. I need some motherfucking views. Like, what a douchebag. Oh, I'm not playing games for me. Like, I hate this streamer mindset. I really do. I actually stopped streaming specifically because of this, because I felt like I was streaming more for the audience rather than like what I was actually interested in doing. So like I stopped streaming to focus on like the stuff I was actually enjoying, and you know what? That was the right decision for me to make. I feel like streaming is like not a fucking career.
I hate to say it. Excuse me. I hate to say it, but I just don't think it's for my audience. I'm just being honest. When I'm playing this game and I'm releasing 3 hours of gameplay in chunks, and the 3 hours of gameplay gets 170 views in 24 hours, that tells me no one cares about Splatoon on my channel. Besides maybe me and the few people who have actually been helpful in the stream chat. And I want to say thanks to people like Expand Dong, Big Papa Phil, who've been trying to help me with it and understand it. And, you know, obviously you guys like it. And that's cool. And I'm happy for you that you like the game. I do too. I actually like it. And if it had caught on more, I probably would be playing it more. But it's not catching on here on DSP Gaming. It's been a week. I gave it 3 chances. And it seems like all hype has died out. And it's funny because I've still got people saying, well, you're going to play the single player? Am I going to play the single player? The meat of the game that people should want to see is getting 170 views. Now you want me to play the single player? Really? So, right now, the only reason I would probably even try Splatoon 3 would be to do Splatfest next weekend. All right? Maybe I'll give it like one more shot during Splatfest to see what a Splatfest is like. So I can at least say, okay, I understand it. I know what it is. And be a part of that for one stream or whatever, you know. But I do not foresee me putting this into the rotation regularly moving forward when no one cares about it. Okay? So, there you go. Holixification says it's true. I lived in Japan for a couple years during Modern Warfare 2 release. No one ever talked about the game. The shelves were full of the game. No one bought it. I told you, it's different. Different cultures like different things. Over there, it's just a different world, and that's okay. That's fine. It's different. Like I say all the time, it's different strokes for different folks. I used to be the kind of person who I was an idiot, and I would be like, well, if you don't like what I like, you're an asshole. Right? And I would hate on you, and I would shit on you, and I would say
He
stupid
still
and
does
offensive
that.
things.
That's,
I'm a much more
nothing's
open-minded
changed,
guy now,
Phil.
and I understand. Everyone likes different stuff. If you like Splatoon 3, good for you. I actually do. If you don't like it, I also get that, right? I need to find what works for my audience. I'll tell you, this is not working. 3 streams of this game, and I can't get more 300 people for a hot new release, right? I can't get over 100, 200 people to watch the videos. No one cares about this, all right? So, at least on my stream. So, like I said, I think I will likely maybe try it out once the next weekend for the Splatfest, and that might be it for Splatoon 3 for me. And quite frankly, I don't think I missed anything because I've seen it all already. In 3 streams, I've seen all the online play the game has to offer. Yeah, that's a full $60 release in 2022. Three sessions, you've seen it the whole game.
A full $60 release? This motherfucker is still trying. What is with that narrative? Like, games are $70 now.
Okay.
What a fucking douchebag. What a tool. What a loser. That is like, I have rarely been this frustrated with DSP. Like, this is the angriest I've been with him for a long time. This guy is just making a bunch of excuses as to why he doesn't want to play a game that isn't making him money. That's what it goes down to. He's trying to play the game. He's trying to blame the game for what's happening, but reality, it's him. It's his channel. It's his demographic. It's everything he's done over the years. Like, people aren't going to tune in and just be like, "Oh man, what a joke. What a complete and utter joke."